What a great crowd. Welcome to Murray State University, and specifically, welcome to Rather Hall, the original building on Murray State's campus. So, Governor, appropriate location for you today. We're glad you're here. And let's give him another round of applause and welcome. We have a special gift for you in just a moment, celebrating our centennial, so we'll present it to you in just a moment. But it's always good to have a governor, and especially this governor in Western Kentucky. And as a county judge, and I won't name any names from Trigg County, said a few minutes ago, it's especially good when you bring checks. So we're glad to see you, and we're glad that you brought a few checks here as well. In just a moment, I'll ask Mayor Rogers to come up and formally introduce the governor as well. But there's a few people that I would like to, in attendance today, I'd like to introduce, and just hold your applause, but I'd like to recognize there's a lot of distinguished guests here. I'm going to miss someone, but hold your applause. I'm going to miss someone, and I apologize really in advance. The chair of our Board of Regents, Mr. Leon Owens, is here from Paducah. I think Dr. Robbie Fitch is here, member of our Board of Regents. Dr. Melanie Schimberger, our faculty regent. Miss Emily Rourke from Paducah, attorney, is here, a member of our Board of Regents. Mr. Mark Bryant, her partner, is here as well, and I think he happened to be driving today. I think Emily has been removed from driving duty for a few days as well. Dr. Jessica Evans, I think, is here with us. Our staff regent, Dr. David Mindshine, superintendent of schools from Livingston County, is with us. Mr. Tommy Waldrop, I think, was coming as well. He may get here late, but we need to keep, Regent Waldrop is from Mayfield, and we need to keep Mayfield and all of our region, our thoughts and prayers in the coming days. Another terrible disaster. State Representative Mary Beth Iams, thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you do for Murray State. Also, other half, Judge Kenny Iams, who is with us as well, former state representative. Kenny, thank you for all that you do. I mentioned Bob Rogers, his wife Gail, I think are with us. Mayor Todd King, a longtime friend from Cadiz, Mayor of Cadiz, is here with us. Executive Director of the Murray Callaway County Economic Development Corporation, Murray Industrial Authority, Mark Manning is here. Mark, thank you for all that you do for this region. Judge Stan Humphreys, longtime friend, is here as well. Thank you for being here, an alum of this institution also. Trigg County Jailer James Hughes is here. Thank you for being here. Mr. John Michael Herring, the Barkley Water District Chairman or Superintendent, thank you for being here. There's a lot of chamber, tourism directors, board members, magistrates, commissioners, a lot of other important people. And like I said, I probably left a person out, or probably 4 or 5. Blame it on me and not the governor, and I apologize in advance for that. But also a lot of leaders from nonprofit organizations throughout this region. Thank you for all that you do as we make Western Kentucky a better place for all of us. Lastly, I appreciate very much Governor Beshear being with us today. And we appreciate his support of education. We appreciate his support of higher education. We appreciate his support of Murray State University. Governor, thank you. And now we have a special gift. So we're celebrating our 100th anniversary, our centennial. And so this is our centennial book. It was just authored. Okay.
Thank you.
Titled The Finest Place We Know, and it is. And again, thank you all for being here. At this time, Mayor Bob Rogers, if you would come forward, and we appreciate all that the mayor does for this community, this region, and for Murray State University. Mayor Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. President, and welcome to everyone who's here today. It's been quite a day for Murray today. I left the new library a little while ago where they honored Miss Margaret Trevathan. I believe someone said she was 98 years old and quite a contributor to the library, and huge crowd. There was a huge crowd. So the people in our community really come out and show their support. And thank all of you for coming out today. It's always a pleasure, as Mr. President says, for our governor to come to our community. He's been to Western Kentucky a lot this year, but many of those trips, I'm sure he'd rather not have had to come because he's dealt with so many unfortunate tragedies over at Mayfield and Princeton and Dawson and all around. But you've been there for them, and I know the mayors and some people in those communities, and they're very appreciative of what you've done. So thank you on behalf of our neighbors, because it could have very well come through Murray. You know, none of us know. But thank you. Today, the governor's going to come and recognize some very, very important organizations in our community and in the Tree County community, I believe. We're very fortunate to have so many nonprofits who do so much for our community. And we're just thrilled that you remembered these folks when it come time to hand out a little bit of money to help them. And so today, we're excited that you came, and many of these folks are here to say thank you, because we thank them for what they do for the people in our community. So, welcome, Governor Andy Beshear.
Thank you, Mayor, for that kind introduction. Thank you, Mr. President, for welcoming us and introducing me to everyone in the audience. We did miss former Representative Fred Nestler, who's here with us today. Fred, always good to see you. I just came from Mayfield, where that town and other parts of Western Kentucky were hit once again with something historic. And yes, please continue to pray for them. But please also know God has already answered one of those most important prayers. We have gotten through the worst weather event in terms of rain in parts of this region in, I believe, our recorded history, with 0 deaths, 0 missing persons, 1 minor injury. All of our children of God are still here with us today. I am also thrilled to be here at Murray State University, which I've had an opportunity to travel to and be with you a number of times. One of my favorite trips was when I was here in 2021 to help Murray State's Hudson School of Agriculture kick off a partnership with 2 solar power companies. Coming to Murray always reminds me that we have to support not 1 or 2, but all of our public universities across the Commonwealth. The education that you provide here is transformative for the students, and it's also critical for a Commonwealth that is on a job creation roll, the likes of which we have never seen. And I'm going to continue to fight for a budget that lifts Murray State up. I am proud to be the governor that turned around over a decade of cut upon cut upon cut to higher education. And we had the healthiest 2 budgets in a long time for higher education. But we still have a challenge. And I want to make sure I'm on record with this. We still have a challenge that the manner in which funding is currently put in the budget ends up rewarding some schools that have been able to get their base funding already up higher than many of our regional universities. And I'm going to continue to push that we increase that base funding until that competitive funding is a fair playing field for all, and we ensure we have healthy institutions all over the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I'm also very proud to be here with great local leaders, President Jackson, Judge Iams, Judge Humphreys, Mayor Rogers, Mayor King, Representative Mary Beth Iams, and oh my goodness, the area development districts, both Pennyrile and Purchase area. They do such an incredible job for us. And we're here today because we believe in you. I mean, right now on this historic role, making sure that these new jobs and opportunities, prosperity, potential reach every part of Kentucky means we have to invest. We have to invest in our infrastructure. We have to invest in our people. We have to invest in our nonprofits that are doing God's work. I mean, we think about nonprofits and the importance of what they do in the toughest times, and we've been through a lot of those. But in times where we're creating a good job for every person, that we can get educated enough, healthy enough, and trained enough, what our nonprofits can help us do right now could do more to combat generational poverty, more to restore hope where it's been lost, more to move forward with everybody being included and no one being left out. I believe that all of our work, nonprofit, government, the private sector, that we are doing right now at a time where we're transitioning from a time of darkness and difficulty into one that could have more optimism, brightness, and opportunity for the next generations is going to be the most important work we've ever done. And that's a heck of a thing to say, given that we all worked through that pandemic together. So, to push us forward today, we're recognizing your efforts and celebrating more than $1.5 million in investments in these two counties. First up, I got to make sure that we help out our host here. First, we're happy to present more than $18,000 to Murray State University from our Law Enforcement Protection Program. This program will fund new equipment to protect Murray State officers as well as students and staff in an emergency. We've seen far too many of those, whether that was in Marshall County years ago, whether it's been in other universities. And I lost a very close friend in a mass shooting 3 months ago. One people I was closer to than just about anybody else on this planet. But what I know is law enforcement showed up within 3 minutes. And I got to see 2 other friends in the emergency room that day that would not be with us without our strong and important law enforcement officers. These folks, your folks here at this university show up every day knowing that their job is to put themselves between us and danger, making sure we can get home to our families. They risk whether they can get home to theirs. So I'd like to invite President Jackson and Interim Police Chief Ryan Orr to come up here and accept this check. You want to mention how you're going to use the funds?
Right ahead, Chief.
He's got the better uniform.
Exactly. A real news.
Okay, so I'm a little unprepared for this, so just, first of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Jackson, Governor Beshear, and the state of Kentucky for considering us for this grant opportunity. We're going to use these funds for equipment needs for Murray State University so we can continue to protect our Murray State University faculty, staff, and students. Thank you, guys.
Make sure you take your check. Oh. All right, the next one is pretty exciting. And Representative, if you join us to make sure when we present these checks, we're showing this is all legislative, executive, all of us together, making sure we do it right. The next one, we just got through. It's a pretty exciting award. Next, we have a $750,000 Community Development Block Grant Funding Award for Callaway County. These dollars will help the county demolish the current Murray Art Guild building at 500 4th Street. The old building will be replaced with a state-of-the-art facility complete with community studios, individual artist spaces, a new retail space, and a gallery for exhibitions. The new facility will provide artists with a space for them to work and to showcase their art. I'd like to welcome Callaway County Judge Executive Kenny Iams and members of the Murray Art Guild to accept this check for $750,000.
Thank you, Governor Beshear. Thank you, Judge Executive Iams. I'm so thrilled to be working with the Callaway County government on this new facility for our community. I really appreciate the staff and the board for the Murray Art Guild being here to help us through this. And I'm also just super excited for the community and all of you that know that how important art is and how art can raise a community. So thank you so much. We got a lot of work to do, but it's going to be super great. Thank you.
I just said the judge has your money. Next, we get to honor and commemorate awards that have reached nonprofits doing such incredible work in Callaway and in Trigg counties. You all do God's work every day. My faith teaches me it's our job to serve the lost, the lonely, and the left behind. It's our job to lift people up when they're down. And the work that our nonprofits do are so special. Again, so many of you fighting through the pandemic when volunteers and dollars dried up. This is a recognition appropriated by the General Assembly. Thank you, Representative, of the incredible work you do, and an acknowledgement, I hope, of the fact that we know that you need a little bit of help after COVID to get back on your feet and to ultimately help us all move forward. This came from a nonprofit assistance fund, $75 million, helping out nonprofits all across Kentucky. I'd like to welcome one of the nonprofit leaders with us here today to share a few words, and then I'm going to invite them all up to hold up that giant check that's going out in different pieces, I know, and celebrate the good work that you're doing. Our speaker today is from an organization that we especially think about at Christmas. And you see those red kettles, and you hear those bells ringing. The Salvation Army does such important work at that time and in other times, and my wife and I believe in their mission so much we volunteer around the holiday season each year. Well, this year we decided we were going to be competitive. So we went to our Kroger, because you still have a Kroger even if you're governor. And we set up on different sides of the door. We each had a bell. We each had a kettle, and we were going to see who could bring in the most donations. But she brought the dog. And I lost. So would you please welcome Salvation Army Lieutenant David Donegan. Okay.
I want to thank you all for allowing us to come down here. You know, a lot of times people don't see this uniform unless there's a tragedy or a tragic situation. They don't see our canteens. They don't see the Salvation Army until there's a need. But the need is every single day. The Salvation Army, my job is to handle the 11 counties of Western Kentucky. We've got a big focus on reducing homelessness in Western Kentucky by 25% by 2025. We've started with bringing in a veterans assistance program where we are able to help homeless veterans that are homeless or about to be homeless to get them reestablished into the community, help them with mental health. We're able to take clients through our Pathway of Hope and our life navigation programs and teach them how to be self-sustainable in the community. So with Governor Beshear and the Commonwealth, we couldn't do that. Without our donors and our volunteers, we wouldn't be able to do that. And it's an exciting opportunity to be able to come to this community and to be able to help those that I may not know who their name is, but I don't need to, because like Governor Beshear said, God knows who they are. And he's put us here to do heart to God and hand to man. So it's my pleasure to be here. It's my pleasure to serve your community and to serve all communities in Western Kentucky and to be a part of the Commonwealth because it is a great place, great place. So thank you, and thank you guys for having us.
All right, so first we'll invite up our Callaway County nonprofits that receive dollars from this fund. Watch, Inc., Murray Callaway County Needline Association, Neartown, Murray Main Street and Murray Downtown Farmers Market, Court-appointed Special Advocates of Callaway and Marshall, St. Leo's Parish of Murray, Murray Callaway County Community Theater Arts, Serenity Recovery of Western Kentucky, and of course, the Salvation Army. Have a couple of rows. There we go. I'll tell you what, right in the middle here, about a $460,000 check. I'll stand over here. Let's thank them again for all their great work. We're going to see who ends up with the check. All right. And now I'd like to invite Land Between the Lakes Association and St. Stephen Parish of Cadiz to accept the check for the Trigg County nonprofits. Just us. Pleasure to be with you. You too. You want to say a word about the organization? Thanks.
Land Between the Lakes Association is so proud to be there to support citizens throughout the region. We've got a wonderful place of nature that God's given us, but on top of that, we have a great place of service to allow people to come and to enjoy this great place. Kids in particular need places to have experiential learning. We're proud to partner with teachers all over the region to bring kids to LBL so they can see what those lessons are showing in a real life situation next to animals and nature, to make an experience to help them be better citizens of the Kentucky and Tennessee in the near future. So thank you so much, Governor and the legislature, for allowing us and other nonprofits to be able to do what God has put us here to do, to help others and to serve public. Thank you very much.
You know you're doing something right when the other day I'm talking to my son, Will, and I said, Will, if we have a choice, do you want to go to the beach or do you want to come down to Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley? And he chose Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you the story. Next, I'm happy to present $63,500 to the Cadiz Trigg County Tourist and Convention Commission to support travel marketing and promotion. This comes from the American Rescue Plan Act funding. It's going to help the commission promote this amazing community through TV, radio, and digital media, as well as print their first visitor's guide. They'll get to highlight attractions like Lake Barkley State Resort Park, Kentucky Lakes, Prizer Point, and Land Between the Lakes. I can't wait to see even more visitors because tourism used to just be an incredible $10+ billion industry that brought dollars into our communities. Now it's what introduces people to us, people we need to move here, creating more jobs than ever before, needing to grow our population. And let me tell you, they're coming to areas like this where they see the natural beauty. Tourism has never been more important to unlocking so much potential in this Commonwealth. So I'd like Representative Iams, since you appropriated this money, to help me present this to Carrie Allen from the commission to join us in accepting this check. Do we have Carrie? There we go. Judge, come on up too. Mention a few words about tourism. Thank you, Governor.
Okay, first of all, we'd like to thank the governor, thank the legislator and everybody else then for it. Which most people don't know, our county actually was the last county to get Highway 6880 to 4 lanes, which has brought in a tremendous amount more traffic and stuff and more people to our area, which we're very grateful for. But with that being said, that left us a bypass, and our community doesn't have the signs and stuff that it used to have and stuff directing people here. So with this money here, we're putting it to good use. We're putting it into Wayfinding Signs so that everybody then will be able to come into our own great community and visit our shops, restaurants, and everything else then.
All right, next, I'm happy to present more than $427,000 to the City of Cadiz from the Cleaner Water Program. This program is an incredible one. It wasn't just an agreement between the legislative and the executive branch, but it was one that for the first time didn't try to make decisions for our counties and our cities. It provided grant funding, not loans, just because clean drinking water is a basic human right. And if we don't have the pressure, we can't fight the fires and keep our people safe. If we don't have the capacity, we can't bring in that next big business. This was in two different rounds, $500 million that we put into our people's infrastructure. 4,000 homes that never had clean drinking water, that could never turn on the tap I take for granted now do, and 80,000 homes across Kentucky now have better service. This is when we come together and realize that clean drinking water isn't red or blue, Democrat or Republican. It's just really good for every single family. So this $427,000 will replace more than 2,600 feet of sewer line. It'll benefit students and families, helping the city provide better sewer service to the school system after it added a new building. So Mayor Todd King, if you'd please join us to accept this check. Oh, bigger ones.
Yes, this project has been well overdue, and I do appreciate Governor for allowing us to have this grant and everything, and appreciate not only what he's doing for Trigg County, for what he's doing for all other counties. And I would like to say this here, that we need to lift our governor up every day in prayer for what he is doing for everyone, not just a few particular ones. Thank you.
Thank you. I am also happy to present more than $427,000 in Cleaner Water Program funds to Barkley Lake Water District to construct a new lagoon at its water treatment plant. I think we've got General Manager John Michael Herring here to please accept the check and say a few words. Do we have? There we go.
I'd just like to thank the state, thank the governor for giving us this opportunity to improve our water system in Trigg County. We're very happy to provide good, clean drinking water to roughly 18,000 people. And these types of funds from the state allow us to continue to provide those services. So thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm out of checks. But today is special, but I want you to know, and I don't mean this flippantly, there's more coming. In many ways, in infrastructure, we are in our Eisenhower moment, doing more on roads and bridges, doing more on the I-69 project, the Barkley Regional Airport Terminal, making sure that Western Kentucky has every single advantage that it needs, not just to compete with the rest of Kentucky and the United States, but to be globally competitive. Right now, they're in a hotter area for economic development than we're seeing than Western Kentucky. And it's so critical that we continue to invest to make sure that we land every single one of these big businesses. And having a university like Murray State gives such a great advantage to this region. An anchor, whether it's Holibus Technologies coming in knowing that it could have that partnership, filling up that Briggs and Stratton building, or so many others. There are good days ahead. And if you didn't catch the announcement, just a couple of weeks ago, we were recently advised that we're going to receive over $1.1 billion from the federal government to run internet, high-speed internet, to every home and every business across Kentucky. And that's what's going to keep this economic development roll going. I mean, we just had our 2 best years of economic development in our history. 2021, $11.2 billion in new investment after averaging $5 billion a year before it. 18,000 new Kentucky jobs. 2022, $10.5 billion in new investment. 16,500 new jobs. It's just July, but I can tell you this will be our 3rd best year for economic development in our history. And if we can have those best years back to back to back, and I'd like to add to back to back to back, we can turn good years of economic development into decades of prosperity. As we're here today, I truly believe that we can be the generations that grab this potential in front of us and leave a collective legacy that's not me, it's us, of more opportunity for every generation that comes after us. You know, we have a chance to turn our brain drain into a brain gain, never to lose our talented young people to other states ever again, but how about other states' talented young people start moving here? We're now home to the biggest investment in the history of Ford and the biggest investment in the history of Amazon. All of a sudden, all our surrounding states are looking at us with envy. And they're saying, Kentucky, how are you doing it? And I'm looking back saying, I'm not telling you. We're seeing it here. I mean, just in the Pennyrile and Purchase area development districts, $2.5 billion in new investment since I've been governor, 3,600 new jobs. Companies like Pella Corporation, Echo Chain Wind, Ken Lake Foods, PTL Trucking, PJ Clark Lumber, Holibus Technologies, Load Covering Solutions, and there are so many more that are to come. What I love is being in this room, especially with leaders and nonprofits that helped us get through a difficult time. But folks, we are not just through that difficult time, we're marching forward. As we're here today, we have 60,000 more filled jobs than before the pandemic. Again, we've not just gotten back up, we've moved forward. For the first time in our history, we have more than 2 million filled jobs across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We had our lowest annual unemployment rate last year, our lowest monthly unemployment rate a couple months ago, our longest period of low unemployment. And when we start to bring prosperity to all of our people, we start seeing some hope in some areas that sometimes it's tough to see hope in. We have fewer kids in our foster care system than we did a couple years ago. We got the lowest recidivism rate in our history. Think about that. Living our faith and values of second chances and making our community safer at the same time. So thank you to everybody who helps people get those second chances, from employers to nonprofits. And maybe the one that I'm most proud of, because it's tens of thousands of Kentuckians all working towards this, is we were one of only 8 states in the entire country that had a significant decrease in overdose deaths last year. Pretty special. And as we look towards our future, it can also be bright because our fiscal house is in better shape than it's been in a long time. I just announced the largest budget surplus in our history, $1.55 billion, which I know means President Jackson has a larger list to send to us this year in the session. But what it means is that we've received not 1 but 2 bond rating upgrades, which means the projects we do here on campus, the big road projects we're doing all around the Commonwealth cost us less. It means the toughest critics admit our economy is booming more than others. But it also means the pensions of every teacher, police officer, firefighter, social worker, every state, city, and county employee are safer than they've been in decades. We are on an incredible roll. And again, it is because of so many people in this room and beyond. You look at Murray, recognized as one of the top 100 micropolitan areas in the South Central region for economic development. This is everybody, making sure that we're not doing this on a daily basis, that we try to tune out all that noise, that we don't focus on what they're fighting about in Washington, D.C. Our fight ought to be for a better future for all of our people. Realizing that a good job and clean drinking water and broadband and so many other things aren't partisan at all. They're things that we can all agree on and move forward. I want to thank you all for having me today, and I want to congratulate Murray State for hosting the Governor Scholars Program, which is on campus here right now. I am the first Governor Scholar to serve as governor. It changed my life. It changed my life, and having them here is a really special thing. I know that's a whole town, a whole county, university, and a whole region that hosts them, but just think, if whenever you get down, go see these kids, listen to them, right? Our future is bright as long as we invest in them and create the types of opportunities that keep them here. God bless. Thank y'all for coming today.